Part 1 of the story begins at the exact moment when the galaxy's rules fail and old fear is reborn, opening with a sudden and shocking attack that no one expected, where a slow and silent weapon strikes a powerful alien ship and proves that speed and light are not the only ways to kill in space. And this moment matters because it shows the core idea of the story that humans survive, not by breaking rules but by thinking around them. And the scene focuses on Commander Mara Cade, who stands as the human point of view and emotional anchor, watching the result of years of quiet planning finally come alive as a massive trebuchet floats in space and fires a solid metal shot across a long distance, something that feels impossible to the alien mind because the galaxy has grown used to bright energy weapons and smart machines. And through this moment, the story explains without lectures that the Galactic Peace Treaty was not peace at all but a tool of control, created after long wars where humans proved too strong and too creative. And so the other species decided to remove advanced weapons to make sure no one could challenge them again, believing that technology itself was the danger. But humans saw the hidden flaw in this thinking and chose to move backward in time instead of forward, digging into old history and forgotten wars where people fought with wood, metal, rope, and muscle. And the story carefully shows that this choice was not made with pride or joy, but with quiet anger and determination. Because humanity did not want war, but refused to accept slow death or slavery. And as the Kravix Empire enters the story, it becomes clear who the real threat is, showing them as strong, cruel, and confident beings who believe the treaty gives them the right to attack others under the excuse of keeping order. And their arrival explains why this opening battle matters so much, since they see humans as weak rule followers who brought toys instead of weapons. And the contrast between their confidence and the sudden destruction of their ship builds tension and fear while also giving the reader satisfaction. And through simple actions like Mara giving a single command and human crews pulling ropes by hand, the story highlights human teamwork and trust rather than machines or artificial minds. And the lack of talking and shouting in the scene gives it a heavy, calm feeling where every action feels planned and controlled. And the weapons themselves are treated almost like characters, as the trebuchet and crossbows float in space looking strange and wrong but deadly, reminding the reader that the galaxy forgot basic truths about mass force and impact. And by ending Part 1 with the first enemy ship destroyed and the war truly beginning, the story sets up the larger conflict ahead, showing that this is not a lucky hit but the opening move of a long, brutal fight. And emotionally, Part 1 establishes humans as calm under pressure, wounded by past control but unbroken, while also planting fear in the enemy and curiosity in the wider galaxy, making it clear that the rest of the story will explore how far humans are willing to go when pushed into a corner, and how dangerous forgotten knowledge can be when used with modern understanding, all while keeping the language simple and the events clear so the reader can easily follow the stakes, the setting, and the promise that this strange old way of war will only grow larger and more terrifying as the conflict continues. Part 2 of the story continues the human fight against overwhelming odds, showing how the old weapons, dismissed by the galaxy as toys, become a force no one can ignore, and it begins with the aftermath of the opening strike, where Mara Cade and her fleet realize that their first success is only the start of a long and dangerous campaign, and the Kravix adapt quickly, bringing swarms of fighters and boarding pods that force the humans to fight in ways they have not fully experienced in space. And the tension grows because every small victory comes at a high cost, with ships being damaged, crews injured, and the constant threat of being outnumbered. Yet the humans demonstrate remarkable ingenuity, using gravity, precise timing, and teamwork to make crossbows and trebuchets effective even in the vacuum of space, and Mara leads by example, moving through the decks of her ship, giving clear orders, and participating in hand-to-hand combat when enemy soldiers board, showing the personal bravery and leadership that define humanity in the story. And the humans' actions are grounded in simple but effective methods, like manually reloading trebuchets, adjusting angles, and coordinating volleys of arrows tipped with explosives, which creates a feeling of ancient strategy applied to a futuristic battlefield. And the narrative emphasizes the contrast between the cold, advanced technology of the Kraviks and the raw, physical, and clever approach of humans, highlighting that speed and energy are not the only measures of strength. And the emotional stakes rise as the story shows the crew's exhaustion, fear, and determination as Mara records a message acknowledging that they may not survive, but that every human on the fleet is fighting with courage, intelligence, and purpose. And this message also conveys the theme of legacy, showing that humans understand the importance of their actions and the story they are creating for the galaxy. And the battle itself escalates, with Kravik's fighters approaching closely and humans using archers in space to devastating effect, arrows and bolts finding their targets in ways the aliens cannot anticipate, demonstrating that careful planning and creativity can overcome sheer numbers and raw power. And the narrative includes moments of physical struggle, strategy, and adaptation, keeping the tension high as both sides try to learn from each other. And through these scenes, the story shows that the old ways of war manual skill, timing, observation, courage still hold value even in the age of advanced spacecraft. And Mara's leadership becomes central as she coordinates multiple ships, sets up complex volleys of fire, and encourages her crew despite injuries and losses, emphasizing that human ingenuity is not just technical but emotional, driven by the will to survive and protect one another. And as the Kravik's flagship appears, larger and more formidable than anything before, the humans face a seemingly impossible challenge, forcing them to prepare Project Stonefall, a final desperate plan using a captured moon fragment as a massive weapon, demonstrating that humanity combines old methods with bold thinking to create solutions that are unpredictable and devastating. And the narrative carefully balances tension, suspense, and emotional depth, showing fear, hope, loss, and courage in equal measure, keeping the reader fully immersed in the battle. And the part ends at the moment of release, as the moon fragment is sent hurtling toward the enemy, creating anticipation for the final showdown, while reinforcing the story's themes that humans survive through intelligence, adaptability, bravery, and a refusal to be limited by rules or expectations, making it clear that the next part will deliver the consequences of their bold actions. And Part 2 solidifies the story's HFY message, showing that even against overwhelming odds, humans are relentless, resourceful, and willing to face death to defend themselves and their principles. All told in simple language with vivid action and emotional resonance to keep the reader fully engaged. Part 3 of the story begins with the tension at its peak, as the humans face the final and most dangerous challenge of their battle against the Kravik's empire, and it opens with Project Stonefall in motion, where the massive moon fragment is sent hurtling toward the enemy flagship, a ship so large and heavily shielded that no ordinary weapon could touch it. And the narrative focuses on the anticipation and fear of the human crews, showing their hearts pounding as they wait to see if their plan will work. While Mara Cade stands at the command center, eyes fixed on the approaching ship, aware that this is their last chance to turn the battle. And the story emphasizes the human qualities of patience, courage, and precise planning, as every second matters and any mistake could mean annihilation for everyone involved. And the moon fragment collides with the flagship with a slow, terrifying inevitability, shattering its shields and hull in a way that seems almost impossible, creating a dramatic moment that demonstrates the genius of using old, powerful forces in a new context. And the destruction of the flagship sends shockwaves through the Kravik's fleet, which is left leaderless, confused, and demoralized, showing that humans do not need advanced technology to achieve extraordinary results when they think creatively and fight with determination. And the battle spreads across space with Kravik ships retreating or being destroyed, while human crews work tirelessly to secure survivors and prevent further losses, highlighting their teamwork and bravery in a way that emphasizes their resilience and adaptability. And the story includes vivid descriptions of ships breaking apart, debris floating silently in space, and the quiet moments of reflection as humans take stock of their survival, showing both the physical and emotional cost of war. And Mara records another message, this time not of fear but of triumph and solemn remembrance for those lost, capturing the emotional weight of victory and sacrifice. And the narrative transitions from the chaos of battle to the aftermath, where the Galactic Council and other species are forced to acknowledge human ingenuity, courage, and independence, leading to the rewriting of treaties and recognition that humanity cannot be controlled by rules or limits. And the story conveys the theme that true strength comes from character, intelligence, and determination, not just from technology or power, while also showing the deep scars left by combat on both individuals and fleets, grounding the epic events in human reality. And Mara's final scenes on Earth provide a quiet resolution with her watching the sky, reflecting on the cost of the battle and the resilience of her people, showing that despite pain and loss, humanity survives, adapts, and thrives. And a child's question about why old weapons worked gives her a chance to explain simply that fear, courage, and determination are forces no treaty or technology can ever fully suppress, reinforcing the central message that humans are unpredictable, relentless, and capable of greatness through will and ingenuity. And the story concludes with a sense of hope, pride, and warning to the galaxy that humanity cannot be underestimated, leaving the reader with a vivid sense of triumph, sacrifice, and the lasting impact of clever, bold action, all told in clear, simple language with dramatic pacing, emotional depth, and an immersive depiction of both the battle and its consequences, emphasizing that even in the most impossible circumstances, humans find ways to succeed against overwhelming odds and shape their own destiny.